life has changed. Perfection. Get down with the get down. Genuine. Thank you, my brother. Just some sweet music. Every moment is a moment of consciousness. Every moment is a moment to enrich your experience. Every moment is a moment to realize how all-powerful you really are. Welcome to the consciousness of the way. My co-host, Divine Delectable High Priestess Jade.
Hi.
Hi, that was a nice little buzz up in here.
That was.
Just again, rest my case, Your Honor. The power of sound, how infectious it really is, how it integrates into your very cellular structure, and it makes you gravitate to things that make you feel good.
Oh, yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I got me a little genuine making me feel good. Yes, I confess I may have a little man crush. Definitely captured some incredible energies back in the day. Seemed like yesterday, but it was the 90s or 2000s. I can't even remember when that guy was walking the earth, conquering anything and everything when it came to R&B music. Just good stuff. Feel good music. And I'm your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn. And here we are, another day, another profound moment. The consciousness of the way, our moment to heighten our awareness to the highest level, to be or not to be.
I was going to say that.
And that's so profound when you think about Shakespeare. I mean, it's literally, in essence, we're talking about thinking and knowing, conscious and unconscious. To be or not to be, that is the question. Oh my goodness, I had just a moment, an epiphany right here, right now. I don't know about you guys, but that just hit me like a ton of bricks. You go, Shakespeare, you go, man. Wow. To be or not to be? Did I miss something? Maybe I didn't perceive Hamlet to have that much heightened level of consciousness like we just had right now. Holy moly.
The everything in that ancient text, you don't realize it always comes back full circle.
Even something that is present and as fresh as Shakespeare. What years was that guy romping the earth? What, 1500s, 1600s? I'm not even sure. But my goodness, he had a profound moment of awareness. To be or not to be, that is the question. Mic drop. Wow.
Yeah.
That was something else. Yeah, so we went over some crazy stuff this last podcast. An awakening for many. A realization for most. A consciousness for the very few. And that's you.
Yeah, there's so much. You kind of can't even remember what you said 5 minutes ago, because it does. It mind warps you.
Right. And that brings me to the subject today, the topic, just the flow of energy, the Feng Shui that I am a grandmaster at. when, where, and how.
Mm-hmm.
Inner workings of Taoism, the fluidity, the pulsation, the oscillation, the regulation of what we know as the cosmos, the galaxy, the universe. That is what we are talking about today.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's such a powerful thing in every aspect, especially, you know, maybe in your house or somewhere, even like your office, where you spend almost most of your time or the majority of your time to have that right kind of flow, that right environment, everything needed to, you know, optimize what's necessary for, you know, whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we briefly spoke on a podcast past or few. You know, I'm very particular about the shape of anything and everything, the flow of anything and everything. If I'm having a coffee, a tea, water, the instrument that I carry that in, that it travels from the glass, the cup, the mug to my lips, it is critical.
Mm-hmm.
The structure, the architecture of that object to how it tastes in my mouth, how it's received by my lips. All this is energy. And it all has a purpose. It all has a direction. And, you know, we go into the inner workings and understanding of that when we look at the core synchronization of the pulsation of the universe that is the field that is the quantum, that is the oneness, that is the Tao, that is the universe. That's what we talk about. That pulsating, oscillating, vibrating, profound rippling effect, more commonly referred to within the physics community as the Planck field. And that is in of itself another even deeper understanding of the inner workings of the architecture that takes place when we synchronize our attention, intention to anything, turning wave into matter.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people don't classify it as necessarily energy, but in their everyday life, they have habits that they like and they do it because of the energetic feeling, even though they might not know it. Like, I like to park when I get to work. I always park in a certain parking spot because I want my car a certain way. Or I always go to this certain restaurant because I like the waiter or the chef or the experience. I mean, most people don't go, oh, I go to the same restaurant every day because they treat me like garbage, because they don't make my food right and they skip my order and they're horrible to me. I mean, no, that's not why you go. You go because of the experience, the energy, everything behind it. And it's like, or, you know, I write with my favorite pen every day. I like the way it feels. All of that is.
You mean it may be a thought, feeling, and an emotion?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we've never heard that before, Jade. This is very foreign to me. This is unknown territory at this point. Please elaborate.
Yeah. No, and when you get back to it and really realize that everything is energy, it just opens up your perspective, your everything just expands.
Yeah, I briefly touched on many times I've been a consultant for people that have purchased homes or are building homes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we rely on the inner workings and understanding about the directions and which way the energy flows and to what degree you need to move things to optimize the energy flow within your space so that you're literally scooping this up like a shovel, just maximizing the response. And we always start with something simple. if you have an entry point to your home, whatever the front door is, it's always advantageous to maximize the yang effect of having that door facing south, which is the basically the highlight or the highest point of yang energy, i.e. Tao energy, i.e. all energy, which you invite with a clear entry point of the south facing your front door. That Tao energy is flowing all the way through, giving you the highest advantage as you are in constant flow with the Tao's energy. Now, some will say, hey, Sifu, but you said, isn't it a pulsating thing, and you need to be in a certain direction, and things will be obstructed if you don't strike at the right time, admit, produce, project at a certain frequency, vibration, energy, flow. Yes. If you structure your house with these basic fundamentals, you'll be in it all day, every day. Yes, are you the field? The field is you. Yes. So what more do you want when you manifest wave to matter, wave to particle? You want to make sure that these eyes goes attention, intention, manifestation. If you're living in a manifestation that is literally the construct of the Tao 24/7, what are the chances you're going to have a real charmed life?
And what do you say if somebody says, oh, well, I don't have a custom house, or my door's facing a different way? How can I still access that, southern, south-facing energy?
Oh, so very simple, moving specific objects within the house, around the house, and then you cast certain architectural pillars, fundamentals of Taoist magic within the Feng Shui model, you will have fluidity like you've never seen before. So I would always preface with, not dismantling something unless it was, struck with a huge horde of low vibrational energies that are set and bound to basically destruct, destroy anything that would reside within that space. And I've come across it, but very few times have I ever had to come to the conclusion that there's not a resolve, because there's always a negotiation. There's always an ability to suggest a solution for both parties. It doesn't have to end with a haunting till the end of time. There is a purpose. There's a place for that particular spirit and entity, that energy, and it's for a learning purpose, whether it's for the spirit or it's for the living in their reincarnation of their human being experience that is necessary for them to match something that's equal to or greater than, that brings them to this point where they are looking at a haunting, a permeated vibrational lower frequency that is seeping into the very essence of their space. There's always a reason, equal to or greater than. And so we can get down to the bottom of that. Who you going to call? Ghostbusters. Or me and Jade. I mean, doesn't really make a difference, either one. The
so
point.
you're saying for anyone who feels like the feng shui is off, there's something in the house is haunted, the house feels I don't know what you want to call it. It doesn't feel right.
Yes, and I mean, let's preface that.
Please don't go demo it. Everything can be adjusted.
Everything can be adjusted,
changed.
just like everything is energy. Right? And this always comes back to the reset, the default, that this is a perception of your reality. The frequency, the vibration has brought you to this point. There are no coincidences. Be very aware of this, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. So now we need to preface it in the understanding that there's always a solution, whether it's your mindset or the you know an exorcism of this spirit energy frequency vibration. There's a solution.
And what about someone who maybe doesn't have a haunting, they just have a really weird flow? Everyone's kind of gone into that house before, whether it's their friends or their grandmas or their neighbors, and they're like, this is weird, or this just doesn't.
Right.
It's like a mishmash of.
Right. And this is a very good point, because this will affect the fluidity of where you are in your own mindset. So most people, if I'm doing Feng Shui, it's deep within the core of their neurology, their understanding of how things work, and it first starts with the limitation of their mind. So they're operating in a duality that brings them to a point of that realization that they need to have a solution, because, it's bad, it's not good, which is in evidence of that just of itself, duality.
Right. Now, would you say there's specific colors that people should gravitate more towards or away from to create that kind of a better flow within their, even maybe their business?
Well, yeah, colors are everything, right? So within Taoism, the color red is very powerful because it's the evidence of Tao. Also, the basic colors and directions will indicate what you want to preface as the most amount or least amount of energy in a space. So you find your directions. You then work with what is the entry and exit point of the property, and then you use specific colors to direct the energy, colors and objects, that you can direct that energy in a certain pattern that will maximize the response. And then it comes down to what are you attempting to achieve? What will you achieve will determine by your value system, your belief system, whether you're operating in a duality, a singular, and that will then magnify the result of the flow of the space by the way we move the objects. The objects and the colors. The colors will direct the energy. So it's kind of like, imagine your front door is supposed to be facing south to maximize the amount of Tao energy, universe, God, Buddha energy coming through your front door, which would basically enlighten and enrich your life to the maximum, because there is nothing greater to the Tao, the oneness. And so if you're enriched with that all day, every day within your space, well, of course, the power of your manifestation, the power of your healing, the power of your magic is going to be at the upper end of maximum, which there is no limit. But believe this, you will assume a very charmed existence with this fluidity. And, in most cases, especially in the Eastern culture, I'm called on because there's a tremendous amount of superstition that's around the Eastern culture. And that means we heavily have to construct a game plan as to how we're going to navigate this energy. And in most cases, the goal for most people is long life, fertility, and money, baby. Money. And so 3 very, in my opinion, infantile objectives, but very easily obtained, with the understanding that you have to take the person, the individual first. Whatever spirit or energy is already basically occupying that space, and then the construct, the architecture of the property and the land also. And then you look at the alignment of where that is directionally on planet Earth, and then where it is directionally within the spirit realm, because there are mirrored events that are taking place from earthbound to spirit. And so remember, all this construct is taking place because of your belief system. I'm not going to be doing this for someone that already realizes they're one with the universe. Understand that. You've already leveled up to a whole new reality. And is there something wrong with someone that is not one with the universe yet? Absolutely not. But we have the technology, we have the ability to maximize the energy flow within their 3D reality to get them the most out of what it is that they want to achieve in their life, even if it doesn't mean enlightenment.
What are your thoughts on, I think a popular thing that people do and maybe aren't fully aware of is like, oh, I feel negative energy, or maybe I just moved into this house, I'm going to sage it. Mm-hmm. And they get the sage and then burn it. And what's your thoughts on that?
It all works within the construct of your reality. I've found that most low vibrational energies, or energies of any kind, and there are lower, medium, and high, it doesn't necessarily stick to that particular group of frequencies. But let's just say we're at lower. They don't take very kindly to the sage, and that's just generally why people use it as a repellent. But just imagine this, guys. You use it, you repel the spirit, the entity from the space, and then you piss them off.
A little bit like a red flag at a bowl.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you have this sort of situation where you're feeding your needs to feel whole or protected. I don't understand how you could protect yourself from yourself, because all is one, one is all. That's just that's the cold hard facts. The delusion is that you are still operating in a duality, a conceptual, compartmentalized, separated operating system that you call your life, your reality, your simulation as a human being. That's all well and dandy, but the truth is we're operating in the oneness. And so the only reason these things exist at a low vibrational and you're pulling in these earthbound energies is because of where you are here. That's all. So you start off, you think, I'm going to protect myself, I'm going to clear my house, I'm going to light the sage, I'm going to piss off a bunch of entities. And then they just come back with a vengeance. Within, normally someone lays the sage or waves the sage, and within a 6 hour period, those energies resume business as usual. Now that term of resistance or repelling can have a lot to do with the factors that are within the elements that work on a fractal level of just sort of dissipating their actual holographic structure that is the entity that they are. So it separates them even further. So imagine if you're looking at a hologram, the sage in itself seeps into this spirit entity's structure within the Planck field and separates them. So it's almost like, and so they were one more condensed structure or cluster of, energies that are now sort of separated. So they disperse, and then they... Have you ever seen that movie Terminator 2, where the T-1000, he shoots Arnold T-800 shoots him with a gun or something, and he explodes, and all the metal separates.
The
liquid metal, and then it just goes straight back again. That's pretty much what you do with sage. Now, if I had to go and reference and research sage in greater detail, it's some type of indigenous sort of like plant that has had repelling benefits and side effects for thousands of years. This is why people refer to it, and they use it as a way to, in their mind, purify a space temporarily. That would be why you use it every day. Just saying. Mm-hmm. Now, you could easily, maybe you enjoy the ritual. We all do. I like pandering to get approval from others. I used to do that when I was a child. Please be my friend. No, I don't like you. Yeah, you're kind of doing the same thing, only this is not a schoolyard sort of dynamic where eventually this spirit energy, this particular spirit energy is going to grow up, become an adult, and become mature and move right along. They're already set in whatever frequency, vibration, energy that they are in, their particular life experience, whatever's brought them to this space that they've clustered into this position where they're bound to the earth due to decisions that were made within a past life, many lives before that, and they're now living it out, looking for resolve for their journey, so that whatever their position is at that moment is to find resolve for themselves, which in turn finds resolve for you. You happen to be there at the right place at the right time. What a coincidence. And now you have this situation. You just negotiate, guys. And so what better way to do that than to start the flow, to listen to their requests, which is always good. Now, if you're not getting that information, all starts with you. You get to channel. You are a channel. You are right now, whether you are aware of it or not, you are channeling information. All thoughts of your mind are not yours. That's right. That's just how it is. So you have an option. Always go back to the default of understanding you're operating in a negotiating system with this particular entity only because you are still operating in a duality. So you're sort of dancing on the pool, the edge of consciousness. You're popping into that 4D, 5D manifestation, healing, magic realm. And that would probably echo more within this construct of your dreams that the entry point comes into, and then you're starting to, replay it and realize it in your 3D reality on a daily basis because you're feeling it. Remember this tuning fork. This body is a tuning fork. The neurology within your body is the register that you are able to validate what is happening to you is real.
What are some tips? Say someone doesn't have any type of energy or lower vibrational energy, but they just want to optimize the space they're in to create the best flow. What are some little tips that they could do, place an object here or,
Yeah. So great point that Jade makes, and let's be very clear. This again, guys. So what can you do to optimize? Right there, you're setting a space. Your consciousness is allowing for the mindset of positivity, removing the negative aspect of the glass is half full, then leaning upon the idea that you're in a duality. You're already starting to embrace and accept and allow perception, which will have a rippling effect on your reality. So by magnifying the outcome, by using a specific color, if your door is not facing south, if your door is facing west, you can create and redirect the energy so that when it comes in, and in most cases what happens if you've got the incorrect door flow, you normally use some type of object to stop the flow of that energy. So west is high, or the birth of yin, okay? So you have a very, very dense, intuitive sort of beginnings of energy, but it also leads to an opening of, the spirit realm. So it's like a doorway. Now, you may not be interested in that, especially if you're playing in this idea of duality and you're playing in this idea of fear. You're adding to that. So what you would do is put some type of object in front of your door, deflecting the west energy, the birth of yin energy, into your home, which would magnify whatever low vibrational energies already exist in the space. And then you would use an object inside your door to redirect the energy. And it's almost like it's literally like a mirror, because we use the mirror magic for a lot of things. So you would stop that flow of energy entering the door from the west. You would then take the color of gold and you would face it towards the north using a reflective color of red, which is fire, that is symbolic, very symbolic of south energy. So you're going gold, which signifies a high connection with the Tao, and it's straight into the spirit realm, the celestial realm, and this is where you write and craft and script magic in the architecture of whatever you want. That will be very present in your visual and your mind, whether it's the third eye or your eyes open. You will see that as if it was gold laid out in front of you. That gold will reflect that color to the red color that would be covering the north face of your home, which would then redirect the energy to the south. Now, you would construct a virtual window in that south wall that is closed, that should have the flow of the Tao energy through an opening. You would construct with your sword fingers, oh my goodness, you feel that, right? It's kind of crazy. Draw a window in the wall that is sealed.
What if you have a window in the
Then
south?
that's even better.
Yeah.
So then you just wire it still with the sword fingers. You wire it so that the glass is penetrable with the frequency and the vibration, the energy that is being reflected from the gold to the red to the Tao. And so what happens is it's sort of like a redirectional thing. Bing, 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 and then that energy from the Tao comes back into the house, comes back to the red color. Then it basically emulates and oscillates and infuses the whole space. So there's always a solution. If you give me a few seconds or a minute, you've got a problem, we can find a solution to maximize your experience. And once that takes place, within 30 seconds of your constructing of that particular pattern, you're going to be as high as a kite. And all of a sudden, real coincidences are going to start taking place for you immediately.
And what do you think about wearing shoes inside your house?
And listen, guys, look, you take your shoes, the most sacred place that you could be is your own home. You go and walk out anywhere outside of your house with your shoes, you're bringing all that energy back into your home. Wherever you have walked, you are bringing that energy back. We've talked about this, we've spoken on this. Let me refer back to it. You can use this as an example. This is a great tester for you. Go home, find some piece of grass, grass, plant, whatever you want. When you're standing on that spot, all you need to do is say, I'm now going to release all lower, stagnant, i.e., if you are still living in a duality, negative energy, and it will disperse itself down into the ground. Within 24 hours, the next time you come back to do it again, the grass will start to be dying, browning, and ultimately be toast. Now do that in another spot, and the second you're there, because you are the field, remember that? The field is you, you are the field. All you need to say is, I'm now going to increase my highest frequency, expanding all the energy from me as I am the field, infusing this space right now. And watch how much it grows. Without water, without sunlight, it will just get lush and green and just evidence of life. It's crazy, but you are doing this. You are altering everything at a subatomic level.
Yeah, it makes me think of like those cartoons where they would like have the person and then it would show them like, oh, I'm traveling overseas, and it would like do the little like dee 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 dee, the like little arrows or the little footprints, and it's like that's kind of the same thing with energy, except everybody has them. So imagine how many little footprints or paths you're stepping on or walking on throughout your day or your anywhere you go, and then bringing it all back.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you are altering the Planck field, which is the veil, which is this plasma-like substance that is not visible to the naked eye, yet is quite tangible and is present. That is the field. You are the field. The field is you, universe, Tao, Buddha, God. It's all is one, one is all. And so you are altering that with your attention, intention, manifestation, altering the Planck field, the field that is the oneness that you are. It is, it's you, you're it, be all, end all. And that's how you create magic. That's how you create manifestations. That's how you create healings instantaneously. And so we're giving you some real, elementary type processes by using Feng Shui, but in reality, it's all. But remember, this is really this. And this is not really this. It's everything. Consciousness is everything. Your awareness is everything. It's not contained within your brain. Your brain is the projector. Understand that. You are using the three treasures within Taoism, the pineal, the pituitary gland, and the thalamus. These are the three treasures that are basically your gateway to emulating whatever you have in your projector into realized 3D reality. Don't be limited by accepting that it's just within here. It's not. It's everything.
Yeah, and I think that's a very in Eastern culture too, that's a super cultural thing of just removing your shoes before you enter a space, taking them off, that in the Western world isn't adopted as much. But from a Taoist perspective,
it's
all energy.
It's all energy. So if Jade and I go out for the day, we'll go out for the day. When we come home, we'll take our shoes off. Then we'll take our clothes off, and we'll replace them with in-house clothes, because that again gathers and obtains energy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that everything is energy, and it filters and layers down to Planck field, to micro Planck field, to micro Planck field, and it ripples in all these different levels right down to a proton that has the evidence of the echoing of a black hole, which ripples out into everything. And that's the synchronizing that you need within everything on a cellular level within your physical body, that ignites the 0.07 millivolts of electricity that is within every cell of your body. Trillions. And so that is reflectant on something as simple as ATP production, which is adenosine triphosphate, which is basically the spark that's necessary for movement for any human being. That's the first couple of seconds of the energy sources that are necessary for you to contract muscle flexion. And so without that, and you produce a ton of it, but it's primarily used for the first 4 to 7 seconds of contraction, and then you move into other sources of energy. And ultimately, if you are operating at a highest level of consciousness, you're using the energy of the Planck field to source whatever you want. So your intention takes wave, turns it to matter. Wave turns it to particle matter. It's all the same. Wave, it's all the same. You alter it instantaneously. Booyah.
No, I mean, it's, and that doesn't change no matter where you are, whether you're, walking in your home, in your office, in your car.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it's a register. It continues to alter and change instantaneously. We are being altered at a DNA level. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, realize that it starts with the echoing of the black hole within the proton within you that replicates into a cellular level mitochondria that is all got to do with energy and that production of energy, and then the energy production that is the electromagnetic field that you identify with, that is your body. But these Planck fields are generated as they reverberate and they oscillate and form to create a cell, form to create a body, form to create an aura. It's all being altered instantaneously to generate what you see in front of you, which is still energy.
Ooh.
So understand the cycle of things. Jade and I are going to go through this. For all those manifestors out there, we're going to go into deep detail. We're going to do a mid-form video which gives people a realization, the mechanics of how this works. But make it as simple as this. It starts with the proton. It's an entry point. It's an elevation of that black hole, which is abundant, timeless, endless, limitless, infinite. That has been validated to be true. You're using the Planck field, which is the field, the energy, the oneness, the universe, and those interconnections at a proton level that creates this myriad of connections that we would call the entanglement that is the field, gives you the realization that you are connected as one with the universe is you, you are the universe, and then all of a sudden the frequency from the thought, feeling, and emotion is evoked, creating a neural response from the sensory neurons within the heart, the mirror neurons within the brain, talking to each other, creating a 0.1 hertz frequency from the heart, creating what we have defined as coherence, signaling to the brain, sending a message to the gut as it is a hologrammed mimicking reflection of the heart to the brain to the gut, giving you the gut feeling, giving you the response that gives you a realization that what you're experiencing is real. That supercharged, that energetic response, that necessity, which is necessary for you as a spirit, having a human being experience, using this physical body as the tuning fork for your realization that it is real to you, and to you it is the only important thing, your truth. And then you are a badass manifester, a badass magic man or woman, a badass magic person, a badass healer. That's your default, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. Your default is being a healer. Your default is replicating that Planck field and creating the oneness that is designed to your inner architecture, perfection manifest. That is your truth. That is your reality. And guess what? That's in your DNA. The sacred words, the sacred numbers, the sacred symbols, they ripple into the very neurology that is hardwired into your body. And when you create this experience using the Way 126 experience, using a visual audible experience, creating a kinesthetic response, the supercharge that is the validator that it is true to you, making you one with the universe, one with the Planck field, one with the black hole that is the inter-architecture of your connection with the Planck field, with the universe, with the oneness that makes it true. It's your go time, your Shazam time to do the Death Star and put out the manifestation, put out the healing, put out the magic, and yes, it becomes realized. It becomes realized right here, right now, which is how the oscillating Planck fields work. They're described as like plasma, and you can feel them. I can see them. You can see them. Just turn it on, baby. Turn on that clear sense, that clear vision, that clear sight, and it will be yours. Oh, yes, it will. Because you got everything I got. There are no difference. The difference is you are now realizing through Jade and I's experience, taking these ancient practices, these ancient fundamental mechanisms, methodologies, systems that we've implemented into contemporary operatory of an ancient practice, mastering yourself, giving you the green light, go time to manifest, to create, to heal, to cast magic. Yeah, baby.
Whew.
Well, when I pulled out those sword fingers, hi, Kavald, if you were not aware, which you would have been watching this, watch it back again, play it back again, reverse it back to that point, the rippling effects within this ecosystem, instantly feeling it, because that was part of the construct and the architecture of magic. You are the instrument, guys. Instantly. Everything, every symbol, every movement has a purpose, has a rippling effect within this Planck field that just ripples into much deeper, smaller Planck fields that are bringing it right down to the subatomic level, the proton level. We're all interconnected.
Do you recommend that someone who wants to be really serious about manifesting or even just connecting their maybe spiritual self should have some type of like altar or room, or what do you recommend for someone like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The simplicity of it is a great indicator, the presence of something greater, and it's immediate because you are communicating with us. You've already got an entry point to some higher levels of consciousness because you're with your homies, you're with your family, you're with the Tao. So if you're here, right now, you're being brought into the fold, you're being brought into the family. So when you go and access something like an altar, you are just honing your craft. You are creating a space to manifest and realize anything and everything that you can create. And so, those basic tools. We'll go into those tools. Altar tools, a set of candles, bam, i.e. Taoists, they're red. Red is the sign and the color of the Tao. We don't use white candles. That's okay. White candles are for other methods, other belief systems, other religions. Use the candles that are relevant to your belief system. Within our belief system, that's not the color. Your color could be completely different. Use your color. That's an engaging gift, very important to satisfying at a fractal level the energies that you are connecting with, whether it's God, Jesus, Buddha, Tao, universe, Allah, whatever else you can think of. It's all there, part and parcel. Use that as a gift. We use it as a gift. When you turn those candles on, boom, the presence of something greater than you is evidentiary. Instantly. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, what have I done? You have just opened a gateway to something profound, my friends. As you should. And so we always offer fruit, we always offer incense, and you will literally watch it with your open eyes as it goes down like a battery or, a glass with a straw in it. As you suck more from the glass, it draws down till it is finally empty. You'll witness it with your very eyes. Another evidentiary point that you need to be clear of is when you see those candles, you can be in a confined space where there's no circulating air, and you will find evidence of a spirit energy, a spirit entity, because the flames will start flickering. And then depending upon how much energy is channeling through you, the vehicle, the tuning fork, to this space, you will start to notice that wherever your eyes go, because the energy is coming through what we call the Bai Hui, which is the entry point at the top of your skull, which is the entry to the Dantian, the upper Dantian, the 81 chambers of the upper Dantian, triggering what we call the pineal. Now, this is the interesting point, because in most situations, any other animal on the face of the earth, living being, sentient, oh my goodness.
What is it, sentient?
Sentient being has a certain entry point for light that activates the pineal gland, which creates chemistry, i.e., we use the eyes to create chemistry, produce serotonin, produce melatonin, that then indicates the body to oscillate at a certain brainwave that shuts down the system, wakes up the system. It's your natural fun factory. But what happens when it comes to something as powerful as the pineal and the activation of the third eye? There is an integration that is not spoken of, but has so much to do with the light that comes from your second dantian, your heart, i.e., the fire. Now, for Taoists, there is a resonance of the red phoenix, which is the keeper of all the energies within your heart energy center, your middle dantian, the 81 chambers, and the fire that is generated from the red phoenix oscillating, and in visual evidence, flapping of its wings as it basically harnesses the flame that is being basically furnished and elevated. That flame, that light, then is generated. It comes up from the heart center into the third eye. That's the light that we get. We don't get it from in here to the pineal, which would be fundamentally what someone would talk about in neurology as a basic entry point of how you activate serotonin, how you activate melatonin. No, the light is coming from here. And that comes from the red phoenix. And so imagine you're looking at a burning fire, and you take a fan and you start fanning that fire, and the flames get bigger and bigger and bigger. There's a certain ascension point that triggers the release of this energy from your heart that goes straight into the pineal gland, instantly activating your third eye and giving you visions like you've never seen before. And once you have seen it, you cannot unsee it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I already feel in my heart right now.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel
Well, yeah, it's being evoked. Your phoenix is being evoked as we speak. It's getting all antsy and ready to go. They're ready to shoot that light in there, and you're going to have an awakening like the coming of... Anyway, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It'll be the second coming of the greatest heightened level of consciousness that you have ever had in your natural born life. And this comes, again, with understanding on an intricate subatomic level. The proton to the neuron, to the mitochondria, to the levels of all these things, from fractal Planck fields all the way up to visible tissue that you can see, blood, flesh. They're all working in these little infrastructures that like a cosmos within a cosmos within a cosmos within a cosmos, which is why we reflect on within the scriptures of Taoism, within the magical register, we talk about the 81 universes. Oh, we talk about within physics, we talk about understanding the multi-universes, understanding the 9 dimensions, the 18 dimensions, the 27 dimensions. Boom, 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 boom. Level up, because that's what's coming. And all this is triggered by your own experience, your own awareness, your own consciousness. And it can start as simple as, you know what, I need to call Taoist Master Sun Quinn and Jade and have them come out and give us an evaluation of the energetic patterns that are surrounding the space that we're living in right now. I'm getting this gut feeling, it ain't good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that rippling effect is maximized volume.
Wow, it's just like when you go to church, or most people have like either a temple or a church or wherever their place of faith. Feel the energy in there.
Mm-hmm.
Feel what it does to you when you just step in the door, what mindset you're in, what mood you're in, because that is how, that's designed for a reason, to create that highest frequency of coherence and, gratitude, selflessness, love, all of those things. And that feeling that you feel going in there can be replicated anywhere, not just that space.
Right. And that's why we speak on within our ancient scriptures, within incantations, and I'll use one as an example. You are the altar.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Right. You are the altar. You are the altar.
Or what's the more common one? My body is a temple. Yeah.
Very nice. Your body is a temple.
Yeah.
And, understand that when you are entering these places of worship,
mm-hmm.
you will have an indication as to very clear, are people worshiping, or are they basically complaining? Because there's one big vast difference. And so you'll have a temple that people will worship and value and pour all their love and gratitude into this space, and it is palpable, ladies and gentlemen and ladies,
mm-hmm.
palpable. And it's just rippling effects within that Planck field, that you are the field. And the evidence of this state is magnifying. The magnitude is second to none. It is it envelops you into a whole different consciousness instantaneously as you enter it. And if you're in a complaining place of complaining, it's going to be so dense, so prickly, so stagnant, you'll realize that people just come to dump their stuff, i.e. back to what I spoke of earlier, take the space in the grass, dump your negative energy, dump your love, your gratitude, and watch the difference. Booyah. Same thing. Mm-hmm. And that will come back to the construct of the person that is leading that particular worship center, church, i.e., temple, whatever it is that you want to call it, a place of worship. Their leadership will determine what's going on there, how it's being operated, who's gravitating to this space. Is it in the operation or the clarity of oneness, the singular, or a compartmentalized separation, making you very limited, keeping you in this state of human, and then you never ever get to ascend to your highest level of consciousness so that you have the ability to get direct source. And these things take place. They're like mechanisms or traps where people are distracted from their own path and they get led there. And unfortunately, whoever's operating that space is either doing something to elevate the congregation or to decimate the congregation. And you never want to be stuck in the decimation, but it happens, especially if you believe your emotions control you and you don't control your emotions. Booyah! You'll always end up in a situation such as the one that I just explained. And again, operating in a duality. And everyone has their own entry point. Understand this, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen. There is no right, there is no wrong. You enter your own level of leveling up of consciousness wherever you are in your life journey, right here, right now, creating the realization that you are the field. It could be here, it could be now, it could be next week, it could be next year, it could be next month, it could be in 3 seconds. That's for you to decide. Your truth is the only truth that you need to be concerned about, the only truth that is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it really is so powerful too, where you want to kind of dump your energy or put your positive energy. I remember every time we used to go on vacation to Vegas, we couldn't light incense in our hotel room. So we'd go for a little walk, and we'd always pick this exact same tree that they had just planted across the street, and we'd put the incense next to the tree, and I don't know, I think it's been 7 years or 8 years or something.
Longer than that.
Yeah, and
it's just as powerful, just as potent, affecting change for anyone that walks past that, having that integrate into their field, into their DNA, raising and leveling them up instantaneously. That's how powerful it is. The power of intention.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say there was 5 trees, and they all were planted at the same time, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the one that we would lit at is it's literally this tall, and the other ones are this tall, and it's I always laugh when we drive past it, and it's we go, oh, there's our little prayer tree. It's not little, it's huge. Not little.
And that's just evidence of how powerful it is when you infuse and imprint that energy, because you are affecting everything from the Planck level. Everything. There is no exception. Wherever your eyes go, the energy flows. Wherever your thoughts go, the energy flows. Mm-hmm. Wherever your body goes, the energy flows, moving wave to matter, wave to particle. This is taking place all day long. Booyah.
Yeah, now you're becoming more and more aware of it.
Oh, yeah. And this is the exciting part for Jade and I.
So exciting.
Is bearing witness to your realization, bearing witness to your consciousness, your leveling up of your realization of how powerful you are as an individual, how powerful you are as a collective, and then the igniting of that flame, that spark that starts at a proton level within the Planck field, activating the black hole that connects the dots, that creates this synchronization all the way up to a cellular level, mitochondrial level, the energy, the infusing of that, the rippling of that Planck field, the rippling of that evidence of plasma-like energy that's so tangible. And once you sync with it, your realization that you are the field, it's go time to manifest, it's go time to create magic, it's go time to realize you are the healer. That is your default. That's your realization that comes from a thought, a feeling, an emotion, which you can reflect on to create that instantaneous brainwave and that synchronicity, that coherence that comes with the heart, the brain, and the gut, the three dantians, synchronizing the earth with yourself and the universe, a realization of human beings that comes from a visual, audible experience with a kinesthetic response, the supercharge that is the Way 126 experience. Go now, download, subscribe, and become a mofo of a badass manifestor, healer, magic person. Because that's all it takes. That's your realization. That's your trigger. And it is instantaneous.
It is. It is instant. And just like those little tips that you mentioned, you know, maybe taking off your shoes, whether it's right before your bedroom or outside of your house.
Outside of your house. You don't want to bring any energy from outside to inside.
Yeah.
And you will notice a fundamental change in what is going on. What are you creating in your reality? How the harmony is just elevating to such a level where my life is so effortless. I need some first world problems because there is no drama in my life. Please give me some drama. Oh my goodness, someone left the cap off the ketchup. Who is the bad person? Oh my goodness, no one here to complain. No one here to create conflict with. Looking in the mirror, I am the bad person, or am I? I left the cap off the ketchup. Really? First world problems, guys. Because that's what will happen. You'll be so blown away by the synergy of your realization of the oneness that you are the most powerful source. You are the field. That you will literally have days, weeks, months go by, and you've lost a sense of time and space, as you should, because you're operating in that 5D reality. You're not operating 3D. When you're operating 3D, you're in thinking. And when you're thinking, oh my goodness, the time is so slow. Somebody help me. Mm-hmm. It's miserable. Every minute turns into an hour. An hour turns into a day. A day turns into a month. Well, let's not forget a week. And it's just slow. It's like torturous, dripping effect, Chinese water torture. And that's when you know where you are, what you're operating in. And you'll come to that realization when you're absent of understanding where you are. You're like, oh my goodness, it's Monday. And someone will be like, no, it's Saturday. Oh, it's good to be me. Mm-hmm. That realization over and over again, re-upping, reinventing, conscious realization.
Yeah, I think people don't even realize how much they have an effect over time mm-hmm. in itself, just through their mindset. Because it's like, I mean, just take the example of like going to the DMV. Oh, I couldn't think of anything, you know, and you're like you said, time just stops and every minute takes an hour and you're just waiting. That environment mm-hmm. creates this almost like you literally feel like time has stopped. And then you imagine something like anything that makes you feel good.
Right.
A exercise class or singing karaoke or whatever, dancing, you know, take like going to the club or dancing, for example. And you're like, I got here at 10 o'clock. It's 4 a.m. Where did the time go? I was listening to music. I was at a concert. How, you know, why are they kicking me out right now? It's only 10. Oh no, it's 4 a.m. It's like that time flies. It literally, you're like, what happened to it? Where it's always this constant thing. But when you shift in and out of this kind of mindset and this consciousness, you have the control over that.
Yeah.
To slow it down, to speed it up, and people do it all the time without even knowing.
Right. Jade made a great comment, because that observation is the realizing that when you are hyper-focused, you are high beta. Every second is like an hour. Every hour is like a day. Every day is like a month. It's not even a week. It's like a month. And that's the hyper-focus. That brainwave, you don't even have to test it. You know you're there. Mm-hmm. And that puts you in this compartmentalized thinking, which is not knowing, which is not singular, which is not whole. It is separated. It is duality. This is what you're coming to the realization. You can start identifying these moments. So when you slip into something that you are absent of time and space-time, the idea that space is empty is a fallacy. It is the Planck field. It is the oneness. It is the Tao, and it is palpable. And that is why that synergistic connection that you get right down to a proton all the way up to a mitochondria, realizing that cellular synergy, the creation of energy, that 0.07 millivolt that is part of the energy that is the interworking architecture of your physical body that emulates this basic plutonium dump site of energy that you obtain as your physical body, the tuning fork that connects you with the universe, making you one, and one is all is one. That is the basically epitome of that, giving this realization, understanding how easy it is to lose track. Space-time is absent when you are in the flow. And that's where you jump to the fifth dimensional reality. You are operating there within a 3D reality. That is where you're affecting change instantaneously. And magical things take place. My life seems to be effortless. Everywhere I go, I seem to step in the proverbial do-do, which makes my life charmed, which have, from an overview, offset, outsider, insider, my goodness, this person is lucky. No, you're synchronizing, guys. You're synchronizing to create the reality that you are experiencing. And it would be in the gamma brainwave state, highly conscious, but completely porous in alpha theta existence. So you're absorbing everything, and your consciousness is so high that you are not even aware of time itself. And that's where it becomes absent. Space-time is absent. And so you're highly conscious of the now. The present, the gift. The gift is your offering. That's it.
That's a place to be.
The only place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so shoes in the house, affecting change, creating stagnant energy. You can get, jumpers that are hanger-oners that will come in, entities that can try and get a free ride within your space, and you can bring them from out to in. And if you create the architecture of a sacred space, which your home, I would recommend being, it's your choice what you want from it. But with that said, creating that incantation, that architecture of magic, giving them a realization that you have a sacred place that nothing can pass through in or reside in the space that's not of a divine word, will, light, love of the Tao. That incantation is a nugget, mic drop. It's for you to use instantaneously, affecting shift to change, meaning nothing can enter or exit your space. And so, again, you would use this if you're operating in a duality, and that's okay. Once you have that realization of the singular, these incantations are like integrated deep within the programming. It's unnecessary for you to even speak on them.
You're not thinking, you're knowing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that happens.
Oh, yeah.
That happens very quickly.
Right. It happens real quickly. Can you remember what was the process for you to crawl, to walk, to run? No. Can you remember what the process was for you to sit in a car, to turn on the ignition, to drive? What was the process for you to get up, to walk, to run? What was the process for you to lay down, to close your eyes, to fall asleep? What was the process for you to breathe? What was the process for your heart to beat? All of the above are autonomous programs that are built into the infrastructure of your knowing. They do not fall under the category of attention intention, because remember, when you fixate on something, all the energy flows to that exact point. So be aware of what you are doing, that you are creating, and you're not devastating.
Now, I always think it's always like the person that's like, oh, I want $1 million. And it's like, okay, well, let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 10,000. Let's get to 100,000. And then when they get to that million, it's like they forget all of what it took or whatever it was to get there. Because it's like, oh, now I'm in it. I know it. I feel it. It's here.
Right.
You know, same type of
exactly
process, like you said.
Yeah. And so with that process, you will come to that realization. So the feng shui is critical. Don't be deterred by your desire for a certain object, a certain place, person, or thing. The way that you gravitate to the sound, the symbols, the letters, the numbers, they are all integrated into your neurology, your DNA. That's why you gravitate to them. Remember this, because that's who you really are. And this goes back generations. 27, 36. It's never ending, but you're operating with that in this reincarnation.
Yeah, and you getting those messages are always right on. Don't question it.
No,
you know?
That's the knowing.
That is the knowing.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people like to go, am I crazy? Does anybody else feel this? You know, they need that like kind of outside
and that's the
validation.
That validation, confirmation that a lot of these self-helpers go on and on and on about. But it's your realization.
Yes.
What you start, you must finish. It is a human cycle of awareness. It's a programming that you are given, and you can fight it, but inevitably you must finish. And when you realize that it's effortless. Yeah.
I think we shared a lot today. I feel like that was really, I took a few things away.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's always a lot. There's always tons and tons of information, tons and tons of moments of awareness. We are Grand Central Station for Taoism in any way, shape, or form. We have it all. We have thousands and thousands of years. We have in excess of 171 teachers that we get direct access to. Do not be afraid for an answer. We will give it to you from the source. Any closing comments that you want to make for the audience other than, wow, that was a mind blower?
Yeah, I'm high as a kite right now, so I'm just enjoying it. But yeah. I do think that it is these little tiny things just help keep leveling you up, your consciousness, opening your awareness, you know, creating the flow. Everything that we talk about, it all adds on itself, adds another little Lego here and a little building block here to just help you realize and expand, which is our goal.
Right. Profound.
Really good stuff today.
And we're going to go deeper. We always go deeper. Come at me, brah. Give me the questions. You want the questions to be answered, we will give them to you. So, without any further ado, I would like to thank my divine, delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And
are you dedicating this to me?
Yes. Into my life.
I figured.
Yeah, Genuine. You get it, brother. You give me that energy, man. It's rippling through me. I can feel the passion. I can feel the love. I can feel the ignition that inspires you to create such a profound piece of energetic magic. We got to go out on the end because the end is quite simple.
Yeah. Should make sure everyone can hear it.
And I'm your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn. See you on the next one, guys.